All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. So, again, the big news in the Derek Chauvin trial, the officer now guilty on 3 counts for the death and murder of George Floyd, as well as the manslaughter. And there's something that's slapping me in the face so hard about this story that it's funny. I'm just now realizing it because I already did my post and my presentation. I said, wow, I forgot the most obvious and straightforward theme with this whole story coming today, April 20th. And if you've read my book, Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus, again, the cover, it's the Twin Towers with the coronavirus, but notice the Twin Towers are like a 1, and the coronavirus is like a 0, like 110. And I talk about why I did that in the book, how 110 is the number that connects all the agendas. And I touch on George Floyd. There's a massive chapter in this book on George Floyd's death. And hold on, let me get what chapter it is. It is chapter 18. Chapter 18 of this book covers where George Floyd fits in. And even before I get to chapter 18, I touch on George Floyd throughout the book, but then there's a chapter that's on his death and what had taken place with that through when I finished writing the book at the end of July. But the big thing is 110, and today, April 20th, is the 110th day of the year. And just notice in Gematria, when you write out justice for George Floyd, in Gematria it's 110. At the beginning of the year, we were talking about the Justice for George Floyd sign, the woman in the Lakers jacket, the 110 connection with Minnesota. And then we talked about Dave Chappelle. I got all this in the book too, but Dave Chappelle did the skit for George Floyd. Here it is. Dave Chappelle did a comedy and commentary piece called 846, which was the number at first for how long Chauvin was on Floyd's neck, and then it changed to 929 plus 43 more seconds, which George Floyd equals 43. So does police officer. But anyway, we were talking about then how Dave Chappelle had the 110 connection, like Minnesota. The reason Osama bin Laden's on there is because on 9/11, the World Trade Centers were 110 stories tall, and their demise was blamed on Osama bin Laden. And the first plane that hit the towers on 9/11 was reportedly the the first plane reportedly hit the tower at 8:46 a.m. The flight was AA-11, like the Twin Towers look like massive 11s, and on the 11th day, and New York's the 11th state, and 110 is a lot like 11, the master number. But again, just connecting these events. And now look at where the George Floyd story ends. It ends with justice for George Floyd on April 20th, the 110th day of the year, right? The 110th day of the year, Adolf Hitler's birthday. You know, Derek Chauvin's about the closest living thing to Adolf Hitler in the mainstream right now. And again, with the most simple cipher, Adolf Hitler's 110. With the alphabetic order and rules numerology, Adolf Hitler's 56, like how he supposedly committed suicide at 56. 56 and 187 in the same ciphers as Society of Jesus, the Jesuits. And if you've read my book, you learn all about those numbers. And now the Jesuits are behind all these things. The Jesuits are the worldwide network. When you say Illuminati, you're pretty much saying Jesuit, because the Illuminati was created by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. And Adolf Hitler's got the 61 like Jesus as well, which is a special number from sacred geometry that symbolizes God and God's creation. But very special number 61. It's even also coded in the name Adolf Hitler. And remember, 110 is a big prophecy number. And actually, in my book, just to make a point about this justice for George Floyd, if anyone thinks this is something I'm cherry picking, it's not. It's something we talked about from the beginning of the year, because the phrase also equals 322, like the NBA Finals. And the first night they put it on the news, it was a woman in a big puffy Lakers purple jacket with the justice for George Floyd. And the Lakers are originally from Minneapolis. And we already knew that it was the Lakers season last year when this happened. But just to make sure that we understand, this is not just picking and choosing. Here's right from my own book that I wrote, page 311. Page 311. And you can see highlighted on the page in yellow. I'm even talking about here's what I wrote. Just so, again, we're missing everything I talked about before that, but it says, and in that breath, while remembering the Lakers are originally from Minneapolis, I encourage you to look up the image used by mainstream media of the unnamed Minneapolis protesters shown across all major networks sporting a purple and gold Lakers jacket while holding a sign, Justice for George Floyd, in front of Cup Foods, equating to not only 322, but also 106 and 110. The latter two numbers connecting to prophecy and the last connecting to Minnesota. So 110. And then in the point up until this point in the book, you've learned how 106 equals black, Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe, George Floyd choked out. Remember what happened later after I put out the book. I said, watch Portland, Oregon in September 11th because it'll be the 106th consecutive day of their Black Lives Matter protest. And they ended up having fires all around the city, and they had the worst air quality in the entire world on September 11th, 2020, the 106th day of their protest, when I Can't Breathe 106, Black Lives Matter 106, all these rituals. But, yeah, I should have thought of that. Again, 110 was the whole thing that brought it together. And the story... Well, it doesn't necessarily end today on the 110th day of the year, but a huge chapter in the ongoing story out of Minnesota, that Dave Chappelle's connected to, that he did a skit on, all these 110s. And I should also note that, one second. Like, if I search 110 in the book, it's not like it's just mentioned there. Page 37, I start talking about Osama bin Laden and the 110-story towers and the Rockefeller family that proposed him, because Rockefeller's 110. And here we're talking about on page 38, talking about how Adolf Hitler's birthday is April 20th, 1889, the 110th day of the year, and his name in president equals 110. And on this day, as we talk about this, today the president of Chad, if you weren't aware, the president of Chad, he died today. So a president died today in the world. I'm bringing attention to this code of letters and numbers and how rituals are executed by the New World Order by this very simple code that's within English, the language of the world, which is credited to the Catholic Church, like the calendar we've all agreed to worldwide. We're on the Catholic Church's time. I don't know why these agendas people think are so far out, with the source being the Catholic Church. We're on their calendar. But, yeah, if you read the book, you'll learn way more about how all this comes together. But again, all this stuff, all these patterns, they're not coincidental. We're not cherry picking. We're pointing out, what's been going on. So, come back and check one more thing real quick. Page 41, pretty early in the book. The book's nearly 400 pages. You can mention, I start to talk about George Floyd right there in Minnesota in 110, and then, add on to it later into the book. But yeah, the point I'm making is this is not an accident. There's a reason I put 110 on the cover, this number that connects everything I talk about in the story. And a lot of it is tied around what was going on with George Floyd at the time. And that's why my book would have been done sooner, but the George Floyd thing happened right as I was finishing the book, and I was like, wow, every number that I'm talking about, it just all fits in with the George Floyd. It's just all so perfect, man. So took another 2 months working on the book and tying it in, and yeah, it's a tricky thing to do when you've already written a book and you're like mostly done with it, and then something big happens and you're like, God, I got to work this in. And anyway, I did my best job. I think it's okay. But yeah, just another big coincidence, you guys. Really, just another big coincidence. Again, I'm making the argument that we're living out a planned agenda that is executed by dates and this simple code, and they have these staged rituals for us that are meant to help shift us in terms of the way we think and believe in the direction the New World Order wants us. They want us to feel these ways, have emotional responses to what they're putting out there for us. And again, the big theme right now is how great it is that cameras are out there and they caught this and brought this great justice. And again, all things good and bad, but it's just more validation of surveillance and cameras everywhere and documenting every last thing. And I mean, it's already damn near going on, but they're trying to make us celebrate this world of surveillance and cameras. And again, all things good and bad. And when you're ruled over by tyrants and they have this kind of surveillance over society, if people ever form a resistance against tyranny, well, they'll be the first to be targeted. So, and I'm pretty sure that's been going on. Okay, also, just to quickly recap, it's funny, I was watching this in real time, so I just noticed that CNN, when they updated with the verdict reach, they updated 447, and again, we're always talking about 47, number of judgment, judge, gavel, authority, they're all 47, policeman, cops, 47. So when the judge finishes reading through all three guilties, as he's finishing that third one, the clock ticks to 407, and then boom, like as soon as it hits 407 local, CNN has up their headline, as you see on the screen, Derek Chauvin guilty on all three charges. And I mean, you can tell that's the moment, like the way he's looking, he's like, what? But again, is this just all an act? Is this all theater? That's what I'm saying. You can only have so much of an opinion or YouTube will take you down for having your own opinion. So again, try to phrase everything in a question. But Judge Gavel Obey, 47. Do you think I wrote anything in my book about Judge Gavel Obey in 47? Here, let's find out. I'm sure I did, because I always make the same points and just how you can spot the rituals. But oh. Did I forget to put it in here? Again, look at all these words. Government, authority, policeman, cop. You want to add to that? White House, president, Democrat, Republican, D.C. It's all 47. But right here, from the day the video came out, the cell phone video, May 26th to the verdict, 47 weeks. And on the 20th as well. And again, just remember, in Gematria, gavel, the instrument the judge uses to get order in the court, gavel and judge have the same Gematria in all four base ciphers. Oh, shit. I forgot to switch back over the screen. Well, now I'll switch it over. Judge and gavel have the same Gematria in all four base ciphers. And again, today's ruling, exactly 47 weeks after the video came out. Again, time, cop, policeman, authority, government, obey, gavel, judge, they're all 47. And right when they put up, the headline, right as the judge was finishing reading through all three guilty charges, the clock ticked to 407, just like perfect timing. And just again and again, the same repetitive stuff. They were reading through it at 406, which is also important because, remember, George Floyd died at age 46. Chaos equals 46. Ordo ab chao, the Latin for order out of chaos, is 46. Houston, Texas is also 46. Number of 46 rituals with the George Floyd killing. But reading through at 406 and then, all three judgments in, boom, at 407. And 47 weeks on the nose after the video came out that led to his trouble. And if you count from the killing, which was the day prior, Memorial Day, May 25th, that's exactly 330 days later, like 33. And remember, the rioting started on East 33rd Street, and race war, police, masonry, federal secrecy order, they're all 33. Well, look, Derek Chauvin, he just turned 45 on March 19th. From his birthday to his guilty charge is 33 days. 33 days. Guilty verdict. On his 33rd day of his age. And again, I know that I hit all these numbers in the book, but hold on. Let's go see. Let's see if I covered, the connection. Let's just see if we're all making it up on the spot. I know I covered it in both books. Definitely the first book. The first book I covered everything. But again, for all the people that say, it's just like, oh, you're just cherry picking. And it's like, no, we're exposing very repetitive patterns. And let me see. What should I search for here? Let's see. Judge, gavel, obey. Okay, so I have it right here, page 28, talking about the significance of 47, and in a very big way, and then talking about how judge and gavel have the same gematria in all four ciphers, and then speaking of which, the latter two sum to 47 using simple English and not by chance. Trump's first picked Supreme Court Justice, Neil Gorsuch, was confirmed on April 7th, emphasis on 4-7. So, yeah, again, so the thing about judgment and 47, and there's even more than that, because I talk about tarot and the judgment card, and that being the 20th card, and here we are on the 20th. And this thing started in 2020, right? Here, I know that's in the book somewhere. Tarot, let's see. Okay, talk about tarot, the 19th card, the sun card. Bring up, here, right here. Tarot. The 20th card is the judgment card. I know I get into it more than that, but again, here we are on the 20th, a big judgment, right? And it started in 2020, and tarot cards fits in with all of this. You know what? Here, let me just show you something real quick. Let me switch over to the right screen. And tarot cards got the 119, just like George Floyd, 119. George Floyd 65 in the most pure cipher. This story comes, that this win for the George Floyd family and those behind him, it comes on today, April 20th, 2021, a date with 65 numerology. And then you see how George Floyd's 43, like NASCAR did the 43 car in tribute to him, and 43 more seconds were added from 8:46 to 9:29. And police officer got the 40, policeman, that's what it is. Policeman has the 43 and the 47. Cops also got the 47, like 47 weeks later. Okay. But okay, again, just all the patterns that are so clear in this ritual, which are explained in this book, which talks about how George Floyd, every last detail, the stories by the numbers that you can see with this simple code and looking at dates, Here, let's see if I made a point about police officers in 33. You think I covered that in the book? It'd be funny if I forgot to cover that. I don't think that'd be possible, but let's see. Police 33. Okay. I talk about the song Murder by Numbers by the Police, and how murder's 38 and George Floyd killed on the corner of 38th. Oh, so not by chance, the name Chauvin alone sums to 33 in Pythagorean, the same as police, and the same as race war. At the same time, federal also sums to 33 with Pythagorean, and this is why Donald Trump first deployed federal police to Oregon, the 33rd state, who were reported to be snatching George Floyd protesters off the streets with military tactics and unmarked vans. Okay, so... And right before that, I'm talking about the 110 thing. So on the 110th day of the year, on Derek Chauvin's 33rd day of his age, the story all comes to, well, I won't say to a conclusion, because you never know what they're going to pull next. I mean, they can make up the stories they want, plot twist. But, again, the point is, everybody should know just on the surface something is wrong with this story, right? Never before has there ever been a story like this. The cop knows he's on camera. George Floyd is, hardly moving through the whole video, staying on him for so long. Ends up being multiple people on him. Anyway, it's just... And then the whole thing just was meant to get this huge emotional response and people energized behind the divisive rhetoric in the media as riots were supposedly going on and the looting of stores and malls. But again, just the whole thing. So obviously contrived. And Again, by the numbers from day one. And remember, it's like you can't even have an opinion, you guys. I mean, this video might end up getting taken down a week from now, today, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, a strike a month from now. I mean, that's what happened with my George Floyd content, Got strikes after the videos had been out for a month. And it's like, what was wrong with those videos? They were just like these, the ones I'm doing today, just sharing how the information is so encoded. Justice for George Floyd on the 110th day of the year in the big story out of Minnesota. On the day that's associated with a white racist, right? A white racist, Adolf Hitler's birthday. Derek Chauvin, white racist. So, yeah, again, I will switch the slide. And in case you guys have some great observations that I'm overlooking right now about the whole ritual, I will take some calls. So if you want to call in, the number is, let me see. And by the way, in Minneapolis right now, there are police and military and National Guard all over the place. So even though they're not having the rioting, instead think about what they're having. So that's actually the symbolism to think about. After they started the story at first, they caused the rioting and chaos with the bust-in rioters in cities all over the place, and then getting people from the cities to get involved once the glass was broken and the chaos was underway to get other people to join in. But now think about it. Now at the end of the story, and again, this is what I say in my book, all this stuff is being done as a reason to build the military police surveillance state. Like that's what I was explaining about George Floyd, the pandemic, 9/11, how all these things are helping us build the police military surveillance state. So think about the symbolism now. Minneapolis is heavily fortified. Police military presence all over. The news media is praising the use of cameras that captured the injustice that led to the guilty ruling today, And now they're saying there'll probably be a George Floyd, federal bill. They passed the one on March 3rd, but there'll probably be more out of this. Just listening to some of the rhetoric in the news. But here, let me open up the phone line. Maybe you guys got some observations that I don't know about. And again, if you haven't read my book, Acts 7:6, how all that fits in with what's going on, don't forget Acts is the 44th book in the Bible. And Minneapolis is on the 44th parallel, and Chauvin was 44 years old when it happened. Prophecy, or the word prophet, has that gematria 44 associated with prophecy. And that's the other big thing. So we got a call from West Virginia. West Virginia, how you doing? Sorry, my volume was down. Say that again. He hung up. Well, sorry, West Virginia. The volume was down when you were talking, but you're welcome to call back. And Malia Bryant, 15 years old, shot before the verdict. I'm going to look into that. 309?
Yo, what's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I don't know if you covered this or not. I just joined in now. But did you know that Chauvin and New York are all the same in the ciphers? And that got me thinking about the 846, the initial report on how long he had his knee nailed on his neck.
Yeah, I see that his name. I do see that his name is very similar to New York.
Yeah, I think then it's mismatch on different sides.
But it's all the same numbers. It's just forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
And that reminds me that Amy Cooper thing happened on Memorial Day. That was the big focus on Memorial Day, was her story about calling the police on the black man who was bird watching while she choked her own dog on a leash in a park, and then George Floyd gets choked by the park police the next day.
Yeah, that's all I had to observe. Let you know about. I didn't know if you already knew about it or talked about it.
That
Yeah, it
reminds
just
me.
caught my attention
Also
just now.
today there's a There's a shooting today in the news in New York, blamed on a black man. Also on the day of this. So.
Damn.
And that's at a grocery store, and George Floyd was killed in front of a Cup Foods, so grocery corner
Yeah.
store. Yeah, it's probably all connected. Oh, and by the way, the shooter's name in New York equals 65, like George Floyd, and this both happens on a 65 date numerology. So yeah, perhaps they'll tie these stories together somehow.
Essentially, yeah, they got just released a black teen was killed in Ohio today, right as the George Floyd trial was going on. A 15-year-old girl shot by the police.
I was trying to look it up.
I was
Somebody
like,
said
dang.
Malia Bryant, but
Yeah. Micaiah Bryant, I think that's what her name was.
Micaiah.
I was like, oh, this whole Bryant, everything is like, I don't know, something big is going on. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go, Zach. That's all I had to call and let you know about.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, have a good night. Okay, I gotta figure out how to spell her name. Let's see. 15-year-old girl killed in officer-involved shooting in Ohio. And this is also coming out of Columbus. If you just watched the live stream I did on GematriaEffectNews 22, I talked about the teenager arrested in New York from Ohio from the Columbus suburb with an AK-47. And then the shooting, I think at a dollar type of store, also in Columbus, Ohio. And now this out of Columbus, Ohio. That's the third story out of Columbus, Ohio in a matter of days. So. And 15, Ohio, we've been talking about 47. 47 is the 15th prime number. The Ohio story, the teenager had an AK-47 and his name equaled 47. So yeah, it says today, Tuesday, this happened. Micaiah Bryant. Ohio, Minnesota. And George Floyd and Kobe Bryant's deaths were synced up last year. Go back and look at that. 404?
Yo, yeah, this Jay with Open Eyes.
Hey, what's up?
I was just about to put out my own video, and then I didn't catch that it was 33 days. It was 33 days exactly from his birthday that Chauvin being convicted. I was like, man, I gotta remake this shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta remake this video. But one thing that I think you should look at is, have you ever counted the weekend days before have you ever counted the weekend days when calculating the span of dates?
You mean just only counting the weekend days and not counting the days in the week? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
People have done that before in sports, like looking at patterns like that in football. So.
Yeah, I think it might be something to it in this case, at least, because when you write out guilty in Gematria, it comes to 94, just a simple cipher. And it's 94 weekend days exactly after the killing. And Tuesday is also 94, which is the date that we get this news on. And if you write out guilty using the full reduction, it equals 31. And they're saying that the mass shooter today is 31 years old in New York, whose name equals 65 on the 65 date numerology. So
you're at the grocery store? At the grocery store?
Yeah, 31, and guilty is 31. So that could be a coincidence, but how these people operate. They always like to do sick shit like that. And also, it's 178 days. This news came of him being convicted 178 days before George Floyd's upcoming birthday, and George Floyd is 178. And that's a span of days that could be written as 5 months and 25 days, like 525, the day he killed on. And
well, they're all great observations. Have you done anything on the Micaiah Bryant story?
No, I haven't even heard about that.
I see her name equals 58, like Kobe Bryant, and also like Derek Chauvin and Freemasonry and secret society. So she was killed today on the day of the Derek Chauvin thing. So
yeah, and it's like the Chicago Bulls, like the Scottie Pippen's son dying at 33. It kind of just let me know that all these things are connected, because they put out the picture of Dante Wright with the Chicago Bulls hat or the Chicago hat,
right.
And then they say he's 20 years old, and then they tell us the other shooting of the 13-year-old being killed in Chicago 13 days before. 20 plus 13, 33, and now we get this Chicago Bulls player who wears the number 33. Oldest son dying today is 33, right after these two big news stories. It's sick how they do this shit.
And again, George Floyd was killed on the corner of Chicago Avenue, and now the police officer on his 33rd day of his age.
Exactly.
330 days after the killing. I mean, that's why.
Right. I mean, it's like, how do they? Because I saw the 9 minutes and 29 seconds shit too. I'm like, how do people, even without knowing Gematria, it's like, how do you see that and not question it? It's like 9 minutes and 29 days. 9 minutes and 29 seconds. It's like what?
I know.
It's just crazy. And have you seen Chadwick Boseman's last picture before he died?
Your phone's starting to cut out for some reason. Were you saying Chadwick Boseman before he died?
Yeah. Have you seen that? Have you seen that picture of him in the 42 hat before he died?
Oh yeah. We've definitely documented that. It's because of the movie Jackie, because that's what they called that movie.
Yeah, the Jackie. Exactly. It's T'Challa's 42. All that junk. And we write out 42. I just learned from Bryson. We write out 42. It equals 43. So now I realize why they changed his age to 43.
And Robinson equals 43.
Right. It's like, it can't get more obvious than freaking Chadwick Boseman, bro. It really can't. At this point, people just meant to stay sweet.
Well, that's what scares me, is that people cannot see the Chadwick Boseman example. It's like, come on.
No, bro, I showed this to all my people, and they all thought I was tripping. The only person that didn't laugh at me was my mom. She the only one who was like, okay, you got a point.
Isn't it funny, man? It's funny how we're getting laughed at by people. It is funny how we get laughed at. It's like, man, we're not the ones who are supposed to be laughing. We're getting laughed at.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, how did Beyonce drop her Icy Part clothing line? Like, how does she do that shit? Nobody fucking noticed.
It's because who's ever behind these people is telling them. They understand how the world is. They control the world. They're like, trust me, nobody's even gonna say anything or notice. They're gonna buy even more of your stuff.
Exactly. They know. They don't got nothing to worry about.
Except for us. Except for us starting anything. Right. That's why they gotta censor us so hard.
Right.
So.
And I don't see why they have to, because it's not like people even be catching on.
They know everything's just perfect right now. They don't want anything messing with it. That's why they got the perfect recipe.
It's not a coincidence that the people who be in the most rough situations, they the easiest to catch on, because they less attached to this.
Yeah.
The people who got the nicer lives and stuff, they the ones who are more likely to not want to believe.
Right.
But all right, I'll catch you later. I'll let you get some more calls. But yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right. Take care. Okay. So again, this girl who died, who's in the headlines today, Ma'Khia Bryant, spelled like that. I copied and pasted her name right from the article. 58. Just like Derek Chauvin, like Freemasonry, like Rosicrucian, like secret society. And then when you run it in reverse, also like Kobe Bryant. And again, talk about the parallels between Kobe getting buried in Corona Del Mar, and then George Floyd dead in Minneapolis, and the woman in the news, the Lakers jacket. Again, the Lakers originally from Minneapolis. Her name is the same as Derek Chauvin in two of the ciphers. Isn't it interesting? 937?
Hey, what's good, Zach? It's Chicago.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
Doing well. I'm glad you're calling in, man, because you almost never call in.
Yeah, for sure. I got some information on this Ma'Khia Bryant character, so I just want to share.
Please.
So, her name is Ma'Khia Bryant. From when Kobe Bryant died till today is 64 weeks and 3 days. Today is a span of 64 weeks and 3 days. 6 643 is the 117th prime member. Ohio 117, Buckeye 117, Columbus Division of Police also equals 117.
When Kobe retired, both of his jerseys, 8 and 24, it was 117 days after his birthday. I remember that.
Wow, perfect. Yeah, so that's like the biggest thing I found was the 117 Buckeye Ohio connection, and then today it has like a 29 life lesson number, Ohio 29, and yeah, and of course the 110th day of the year, Columbus 110, they're here 110th day of the year. So yeah, that's really the biggest part I want to share. Nothing much else I saw in this, I guess, so far. But
did you see that there were two other stories recently with Columbus in the news? One tying the teenager who took AK-47s to the New York substation, and then the other shooting at like a dollar store.
Yeah, I saw your stream earlier about you mentioned those. I didn't see too much on the dollar store, but yeah, the AK-47 one, Ohio 47, and then just you reminded me today is 106 days from Mike DeWine's birthday. Today is the 106th day of his age. The governor of Ohio, and Black 106, Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
So it's a perfect day too. So that 106, 110 come together again because we saw Ohio on that the 106th day of the year. I think it was the AK-47 thing. Now we're in the 110th day of the year, 106 days from the governor's birthday, and then we're having this. So those are the two that includes 106 days from the governor's birthday, then the 643.
Oh, the other Columbus shooting was at an Ohio Vigil, not the dollar store. That's what it was. Dollar store was some other place. Too many shootings in recent days.
The Ohio Vigil equals 106.
Yeah, like Columbus. And Ohio's 61 and 16, so it has the same key digits as 106, 1 and 6. Yeah. Oh, there was a witness in the story who saw it by the Dollar General store. So that's what it was with that. But yeah, that's the third Columbus story in the news in recent days for shootings that made national news.
Definitely. And then that Dollar General has the DG47 initials. That's probably why I also definitely want to talk about that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Ohio, I think that maybe, I don't know what they're foreshadowing with this, maybe something big or something, or some of the sports, but yeah.
I'm sure they're, well, that's what, I need to go look in, I don't even, like, how's the Columbus hockey team doing right now? I'm just like, is there going to be some is Columbus and New York playing each other recently? Because just when they start connecting cities like that, like with the Columbus teenager found in the New York subway with an AK-47 plus NHL's 47, I'm like, okay, there's probably a sports thing there with that.
Oh, for sure.
So, I got to look up. I don't know how they're doing in sports, though. You're in Ohio. You know how they're doing? You know how Columbus is doing?
I haven't been following, so I don't know how they're doing in sports right now.
No, they're not doing well, though. They're not doing well because they're in last place in their division. I think that's them, the Blue Jackets. Oh, no. Columbus is the Blue Jackets, is that right?
Yep.
I don't know if they have a recent game against New York or some ritual coming up with a game with New York. I'd have to look at their schedule, but yeah, there's got to be a reason that there's so much focus on Columbus. I guess is always a big word. Columbia, District of Columbia, Catholic Church, Dove.
Yep, the Columbine shooting was 1999.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, these riddles are so apparent, and I definitely want to. I'm gonna get out there soon and talk to more people about this and really try and wake more people up. This, that's what I'm always trying to do. Because people need to really see. I mean, this stuff is just too blatant, especially in this day and age, to not understand at this point.
Indeed, man. It's just the same damn patterns. 47. I mean, come on Derek Chauvin's 33rd day of his age. It's just like, come on. Justice for George Floyd. It's just.
It's just crazy. It's so insane. Yeah, well, thanks for taking the call, Jack, and letting me share this information. I'm glad that people are able to hear it and they're documenting it.
All right, appreciate it, Chigozi. For those of you guys who don't know, Chigozi Truth, he streams almost every day. He's a great decoder. Appreciate you, man. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, you too. Appreciate you too. Thanks.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah, have a good night, man. See you.
You too.
Trying to think what other I don't know if Columbus has an MLS team. I don't really see anything going on with Columbus in New York. A lot of times it is that way in sports, but there might be something else in Columbus I don't know about. 248.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, what's up?
It's Dominic again. This is kind of like off topic, but like, I mean, it has something involved with a death. But have you heard of like the attorney? He was like a OJ's lawyer. His name was like Howard Weitzman.
The name's familiar, but what about it?
He died like a day before DMX did a decode on it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you want to hear it or no? Or...
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. His last name equals 42, like Jesuit.
And he died on April 2nd or April 8th?
April 8th.
Oh, okay. Freemason 42 and 48 too.
Oh, okay. It's like his last name equals 39 as well, and the year he was born in 1939. His full name equals 265 to 56 prime, and some you should know other stuff that equals 56. I didn't have time to type it out. And the news comes on. The news of his death is reported on 4/8. I think he died on April 7th. Now that I think about it, but the news reported on April 8th.
Okay.
Or 84, and they pointed out O.J. Simpson, and O.J. Simpson's full name equals 84, attorney equals 98 and 44. His death was reported on the 98th day of the year, and killed equals 44, and they say he died of cancer. Cancer equals 44. He died 189 days after his birthday. I kind of forgot what went with 189. And he had one of his famous sentences he said during the OJ trial was nothing to say, and that equals 167. And from his death to his upcoming birthday was 167 days.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, good research.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Keep up the good work.
You too.
All right, take care. Okay. Let's see. 469.
Yeah, what's up, Zach? It's Neil the Hacker.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you? I just wanted to point out something real quick. You know how you were talking about right now, the news is saying how, we need to be thankful for them having cameras and everything.
Right.
So what's funny is what they're saying is the one that they're giving praise to this woman named Darnella Fraser, and the news is reporting that she was the one that supposedly filmed the whole George Floyd incident. And what's funny is her full name, Darnella Fraser, it equals 255, and today's the 255th day of the year.
Or day leaving
250. 255. Exactly, yeah.
How do you spell her name?
And
Darnella Fraser?
Yeah, her first name Darnella, and then her last name is Fraser.
I got it.
Bier.
So she was 17 when she filmed George Floyd's death.
Yeah.
What I want to know is where's the guy who got all the attention with the first video who was talking a lot? Like, where was he at? I haven't really heard from him at all. The guy who had the viral video that we all were first showing. It wasn't a girl. It was a guy.
Right.
Where's he at?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, damn, I have no idea. I missed that, yeah.
That's why I just find it funny. It's like, we didn't hear anything about some girl. It was always that one dude's video, that dude who had a lot to say to the cops and everything, so...
Yeah, now that you brought that up, man, you're actually right. I don't know where this girl came from, but
Darnella Fraser also equals 93, the huge number in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Crazy how they do it.
And yeah, like
78.
All the news articles are giving praise to her right now.
All the numbers in her name are
like,
super interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great find.
Yeah, that's all I have for you, Zach.
I appreciate it. You keep making great finds. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, that's 100% on. That's 100% on right there. Here, make a new post. Yeah, again, you guys, for all this stuff to just line up the way it does day after day, and a lot of people, what they can't wrap their mind around is why anybody would do this. And when you tell them the answer, they act like it's not a good enough answer. It's because they don't share the same belief system. But again, Kabbalah says God created the world with letters, numbers, and words. These people are Kabbalists. This is why they do this every day. What's up, caller?
What's up, Zach? This Anthony from Chicago, and I wanted to give you some more on this shooting. So, an article, the New York Daily News. So they spelled her name a different way. They spelled the girl name a different way, and if you put the way they spelled her name in, her name equals 201 in reverse order.
Are you talking about Darnella Frazier?
No, I'm talking about the Bryant girl, the girl that's killed in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay. So give me that spelling.
So they spelled the MAKHIA and then Bryant. It equals 123, 51, 201.
Oh, yeah.
75.
A number of people spelled it this way to start. Daily Mail, Heavy.com, The Sun. I see. So now we got a 2-0.
You know what's the...
Wow.
And do you know what's the sick part about it? They said Hazel Washington. I guess this was her auntie, but it was a couple of articles. They were saying her last name was Bryant. So I just ran the name Hazel Washington, and it equals 74 and 223.
It's crazy, man. They always do the same thing. Yeah.
These people are sick. They really are.
What do you think about all the people that just think everything's a coincidence?
Man, I was trying to tell people all on my social media yesterday, because I try to spread your work as much as I can on my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You feel me? Free to Find Truth, all that. And it's like the level of resistance that I get just be crazy. Like I try to tell people for that Scottie Pippen one, you didn't even need Gematria for that. I mean, come on, they just putting that shit right in your face at that point. It's like they didn't even care.
Right. And your friend still thought no one was questioning the Scottie Pippen thing yesterday?
Nah, I mean, people are just, man, it's just crazy. Like, people are, like, people don't question it, man. They just, one of the comments I got, millions of people a year die at 33. What are you talking about? Millions of people's dad isn't one of the greatest NBA players that played with, regardless, the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And then they comparing it, where if your son died at a certain age at the number you were in high school, but we're not talking about high school. We're talking about the NBA, the rigged NBA.
Right. Right. Exactly. They make we all deal with the same thing. People just making the same nonsensical type of arguments, just spouting off whatever they can say just to try to dismiss. And see, that's the thing. We're coming with real facts and real evidence and real research and backing up the patterns and saying, listen, man, seriously, again? And people are just, I don't know, they just keep making up all sorts of excuses. It's improbable that it would keep lining up this way. There's like so many 201 things attached to the George Floyd thing, and there's just one more. It's like, come on. And Kobe's whole death was in a 201 ritual. And in my book, you guys, I talk about the parallel between Kobe's death and George Floyd's death in Minneapolis and the Lakers. And now on the day of the ruling, Ma'Khia Bryant dies, who's 201. And remember, George Floyd with the $20 bill, you guys. There's so many 201s to George Floyd, but one of them is the $20 bill, because at the same time, the Yale Skull and Bones dude, Steve Mnuchin, said that they weren't going to debut the Harriet Tubman $20 bill anymore, and Harriet Tubman equals 201, and then this year on her 201st birthday, Cicely Tyson died, who played her as an actress. Just all this 201 stuff. I mean, come on. Cicely Tyson didn't die on her 200th birthday. She died on her 201st, and we've been talking about all these 201s.
Man, the 201s is, It's crazy, and the people down here in Chicago is asleep. Like, people is not waking up to this agenda. Like, ever since Biden didn't announce he wanted to get strict on gun laws, all these shootings just start happening. Like, come on, bro. Like, open your fucking eye. But I think I'll let some more callers get in here. Thanks for taking my calls, Zach. This Anthony from Chicago. I know you done heard my voice a couple of times, but I wanted to give you my name so you know the chat and the chat can start getting used to my voice and all that.
Okay, so you're Anthony in the chat too.
Anthony, you know the player.
Oh,
Anthony
like
Hardaway.
Anthony Hardaway. Anthony, got you. Now I got it. Okay, and I will remember that.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Great work. Keep it up. Call us again.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yeah, you have a good night. Take care.
You too.
Chicago Heights, 708.
Yes, sir. I'm finally on here.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yes, sir. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on?
Man, so this shit finna be so weird to you. So the thing is, what I'm finna talk about, I ain't even finna talk about no numbers or nothing like right now. What I want to talk about is the 7-year-old that just got killed in Chicago. That's basically my family.
The McDonald's,
That's
the McDonald's shooting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So basically what I'm saying is, from just a logical standpoint, Chicago been having a lot of murders, you know, every day, every week. It don't stop in Chicago. You know, I'm basically scared to even walk out my door. You know, like, bro, like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, these people just be shooting just to be shooting. I'm so serious. This is how Chicago is. If you even, you know, if you got another Chicago number come through, ask them how it is coming up in Chicago. You know, how it is, you know, just coming up. And they gonna tell you, bro, it's hard. It's real hard because you don't know, you know, when it's your time. And I'm like, my family, like my mom, my grandma, I had to break the news to them, and they didn't even know. They was watching the video, but they didn't even know that was our people until, you know, text messages started coming in, like, what's up with, you know, Tay, that's the baby father's name, what we, you know, name him, his real name, Jonte, we call him Tay. So I'm like, what, you know, what is going on? So he trying to figure out, calling my uncle, you know, his pops. The crazy thing is, my uncle worked at the McDonald's he got shot at.
Huh.
But I really I just want to say that I'm family, and I saw your post on it, and I'm the numbers, they never gonna lie. Numbers and letters not gonna lie. So I'm very open-minded, even with my family being in the news and stuff like that. So I can't even say like what's really going on. But the main thing is, you know, they was basically saying from he was followed or somebody set him up, and that's how they got it. You know, that's how they got caught up in the drive-through, and that's how it happened. So I'm just like, wow, are y'all serious right now? Like this how y'all, you know, this is how y'all do it. So it's just like so crazy. But you know, moving on from that, I really want to appreciate. Well, I really appreciate everything you've been doing. I've been following you since Kobe. Literally, Kobe death woke me up. Your video, I don't even know how your video even got on my YouTube. I ain't never heard of Gematria or nothing like that. I never heard of it. So I'm just like, this shit is crazy. I never knew this shit was out here. So, you know, I was around more woke people, and I guess the way they were speaking about a lot of things, I guess my phone was listening. And when Kobe died, your video popped up, and I had to watch it. I'm like, bro, ain't no way they just gonna kill Kobe off like that. I'm like, in a helicopter crash, and then he had this shit with Nike and shit like that. So I'm just like, really? I'm just like, wow. So after the Kobe, I definitely followed your work. You know, I'm definitely watching it right now. So, you know, that's basically, you know, what I've been doing every day. I watch you like the news. I'm so serious, and
Well, I appreciate all the support. I want to make sure okay. The shooting of the young girl, the 7-year-old girl in Chicago that was reported this Sunday, happened to somebody that was in your family, or your family works where the shooting happened?
No, this is actually my family.
It's your family, okay. She related to you.
Yes, sir.
I see. Well, I'm sorry for your loss, first of all. Okay.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that. But I was saying the father of this young girl, his father, which is my uncle, he worked at the McDonald's that his son got shot at, basically.
I see.
So I was just like, this is pretty wild. I was like, I was like, I ain't never, read a story like this and read something like this. So, it's kind of like weird. I'm trying to really focus on how I can feel about this. Because I don't know if my cousin in some type of ill or rituals, whatever they doing. I don't know. I don't even really talk to them. I just, talk to them on Facebook, Instagram and stuff like that. He make music. So, I just leave him as is because he already in that gang stuff. So I just leave it as is.
I see. So I understand how that is for you. Yeah, that's very interesting, and hopefully it's not like that. Hopefully it's more like, not there's anything really good that you could hope for, but I mean, if it was just like a random act of violence and they threw it in the national news story just for more focus on gun crimes. But they don't usually, I mean, a lot, like you were saying, a lot of gun crimes happen in Chicago, but normally, well, sometimes they do make gun violence in Chicago a big story, but they don't cover it in the same way as like if a shooting happens in like some rich suburban neighborhood. It gets way more attention, so.
Right. And I'm like, I'm just like, they never even attempt to report anything else, but it's always killing. Like, what's up with the negative vibes? Why is never somebody saved somebody did this for somebody then did this? It's never positive stuff in the news, none of that. It is always just negativity. That's why I just turn this shit off. I'll always watch you every day. I wake up, see what you posted or anything like that. I'm like, bro, I can't focus on that. Like my grandma do, and I be trying to wake her up to your stuff. She's 68, and she still kind of watches. She still kind of have feelings for it. But I'm like, Mom, you gotta understand, this stuff is a game. We in a how can I say this? We just in a game for real. We like, bro, it's like they just playing with us at this point. Like, why can't nobody wake up? Why can't nobody, go out pavement, with the microphone? Why can't nobody do none of this stuff? Like, come on, we have to do better. We have to write down this information. Like, write it down on a piece of paper. I know everybody got stuff to do, but we got to write this stuff down on a piece of paper and study it and get the word out. We really have to do this, y'all. This is how we're going to change the world. We going to be the people that change the world. We going to be the people that get the money. We going to be people that helping other people. Y'all, I'm telling y'all listening to me, please, share this information as much as y'all can. Don't matter as much censor it is. Share it. They gonna catch on. A lot of people gonna catch on, and just lead them people that don't catch on. Just lead them people to be. And the last thing I really want to say is, I've been getting people to hit me up like, yo, what's this about? What's that about? I just tell them your work, and I send them your stuff, and they come back like, wow, bro, I never knew this shit. So Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that you're sharing it, and yeah, you're right. We need more people to do it. The word has to get out there because a lot of people are getting played by these stories. Your family, my family, pretty much everyone's family. So.
Right. So we like, I finally got on here. Maybe next time I can definitely start, getting on here more. But I want to talk about some of these numbers as well. But I know some people's coming in. But that was my family I had to talk about, and I just wanted y'all to know that if y'all sending prayers, we definitely appreciate it. we trying to get everything situated, trying to figure out what's going on, so we can move past and better days coming. So, thank you for letting me get into this call. I really appreciate it. And, just stay up. Zach, do you. I'm sharing your shit every day, so for sure, if you remember me, my name is Rico. Rico the Hoop on, Instagram, Twitter. So if you ever see me retweet, you'll be like, okay, that's him right there. I know who that is. He's on one of the calls. So.
I appreciate that. I will remember. Thank you, Rico.
All right, say less.
All right, man. You have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. 605.
Hello?
Yeah. Hey, before you go, I just realized something real quick. I just realized something. The George Floyd killing was May 25th, 25/5, like 255. And then today, the verdict comes on the day leaving 255 days left in the year. And then the girl getting the credit for filming it is Darnella Frazier, whose name is 255. Huh. That's crazy. All right, go ahead, man. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I was just gonna say, so I got this video. I don't know if you've seen it. It came out a couple days ago. It's basically, there's this, what is it? I think he's, hold on, give me a second. Okay, so the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Crisis holds a hearing on reaching. So basically, I guess it's this politician named Jim Jordan.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that against Fauci.
And have you seen that video with Fauci?
Yeah, the only thing wrong with it is he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy because like the whole time Fauci there's just nothing he could have said to even, like anything he was saying didn't make any sense at all. I don't understand how people didn't notice that at all, but I just want to say that good work, man. Love your work. Been following you for about, I think, a year and a half. But, yeah, man, I'm trying to... I live out here in Rapid City. I don't know, South Dakota. But I know you were talking about it just the other day in one of your videos. But I'm going to probably see if I can hit the pavement, too, probably one of these days. But my name's Eloy. I don't know. I think I called a while back. I don't know if you remember, but my name's Eloy Garcia.
Eloy Garcia. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to call in as much as I can, but I'm going to be probably hitting the pavement pretty soon out here. Definitely soon. But just know you got people out here in Rapid City, South Dakota, for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
They know it's, So just know your word's getting out, man, and people are noticing your work, and it's getting out there, So
I appreciate that.
I want to say, man, thanks for all your work, bro. And you're risking your lives, and there's no reason why other people shouldn't either. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, bro, like
if people don't risk something, we'll end up losing everything. I mean, that's kind of the way it is, really.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly, and that's what people got to realize. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's getting to the point to where we're getting to the point where there's just gonna be no saving at all. You know what I'm saying? Because we're just too far gone, and I feel like that's honestly where everything's going until, I'd say probably until the end of this year, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we don't get something done by the end of this year, we're fucked, you know what I'm saying? Because under Biden, I mean, I don't care about Trump or any of them. Obviously, they're both puppets. Everyone knows that. But at the same time, it just, like the other caller said, it's just weird how all these shootings happen out of nowhere and people are just not noticing shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying?
It's like, that's what I've been worried about since 9/11. I was like, man, these people will fall for anything. So.
Like, what is going on, dude? Like, all these shootings under one administration, yeah, I understand there's been a lot of shootings over a couple of administrations, but just back to back this year, it's just obvious. It's
well, and right at the beginning of the year, they said that their agenda was going to be gun control, and then you get all these shootings in the news. It's like, wow, how convenient is that? That's why people are so blind, man. They call the people who call us names and accuse us of things, man. They're idiots. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So.
And it's sad for the rest of us, and it's just all this shit going on, all the censorship and all that. I mean, obviously, the people who already know, you know what I'm saying? The only thing we can do is just try to spread the word, do what we can, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously,
the reason why maybe our existence isn't to, for all this materialistic shit, maybe, but at the same time, maybe there was a higher calling of us just to wake people up, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's a mess, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm actually pretty excited too because, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while, get on one of your calls for a cool ass fucking minute. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of callers out there. I appreciate all you guys' work. It's just, now's the time, dude. Like, now is literally the fucking time because I don't know how much time we're going to have any sooner. It's just, it's all bad. It's all bad. But
it is bad right now, but yeah, it's good to know that some of us are awake and spreading the knowledge. It gives us some hope. So
yeah, just know my name's Eloy. Just it's a weird name. Probably never heard it before, but Eloy Garcia. I'm originally from Bakersfield, California, so I'm like right there on the West Coast. My origins there, but I just moved out here to Rapid City and fucking man. But pretty soon I'll be hitting the pavement, so I'm gonna try to get in contact with you and try to get some communication going for sure. But yeah. All right, Zach.
All right, appreciate it. You have a good night.
Yeah, have a good one, brother.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
So, yeah, again, the girl who's getting all the credit for filming it, which really doesn't make sense because the video they showed us was a male who recorded and he had a lot to say to the officer. And he said, bro, a lot, bro. And now it's a girl whose name is 255, like the incident was 25/5, and today leaves 255 days left in the year. What's up, 607?
What's going on, Zach?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, I don't know if we're talking about sports right now, but I wanted to say, imagine, like, if you were to bet on, like, and consistently get baseball games right, like, you could make, like, a lot of money now.
Sure.
So it's like, I'm not sure on Patreon if you're doing daily picks or not, but, like, this is the first baseball season that I've been trying to decode, and, like, today, for example, Jake Arrieta could have got his 33rd loss with the Cubs against the Mets, and, like, the Mets lost, and, like, the Cubs could have went 4-6 at home, but they didn't go 4-6, and, like, Chicago Cubs is 46, and, like,
they went 3-7 then. Chicago 37, so that's what you got to watch out on those double coded ones like that.
It's right, and it's just like, sometimes, like, how do you know which direction to go? Like, it's just about finding, like, the stronger ritual, right?
That's why, yeah, and just being real selective. I mean, like, and certain days will come where you can feel really good about something, like the day on Jordan's birthday when Michael Jordan's 59 and both of his two teams can become 5-9 at home. I mean, those are the days you live for. And then things like where the Chicago and you're going between 46 and 37, I don't really like to mess with that unless there's a strong reason to believe it's going to go one way or the other. Like maybe somebody could pick up their 37th win against Chicago or something like that, and they'd be like, okay, there's two 37s there, so.
Right. Definitely, man. And are you doing daily, like, you don't do daily decodes yet or anymore, do you?
Well, not until I'm done with the other projects I'm working on right now. It's just like I don't feel like I have, I've done that. I've put so much time into sports already. It's just like again, there's just so much that needs to be done right now, man. It's just like I like doing the sports, but it just seems like it's go time on trying to figure out how people to do something else, and it's just I can't spend. I've already spent 7 years decoding sports. It's like, okay, this year I got to do something different. So. Anyway, yeah, I'm not putting as much time into sports. Yeah, I know explained that a bunch of times. I'm writing books and I'm, investing time into other things and see if that gets people motivated. And so far, it's a lot of hard energy and not getting the results anywhere. But yeah, with sports, you got to be careful, man. Chicago's 37 and 46. You can't just zero in on 46. So.
Right, and on your Patreon though, like, are you decoding like the UFC, for example, this weekend, or like have you did that?
No, I've just been dropping in for occasional things. Like we decoded the Masters and we did very well with that. And I've been doing the futures for all the sports leagues coming up. I haven't been doing any daily decoding of sports for a while. So, But that's not at all the
Right.
theme of this call either, man. So I'm gonna move on. But anyway, have a good night, brother. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, what's up, 678?
What's good, Zach? Man, I've been listening to callers coming in with good stuff. I just want to throw something else out. I don't necessarily think a lot of people have challenged it, but with the video with the George Floyd stuff, I find that, they use the video, kind of like almost like picking YouTube times and, stuff through the trial and stuff. But the one thing that sticks out, man, I'm in the audio and stuff, and, there's always strange things. Even 9/11, before I understood fully, I knew there was something up when they, had people's phone conversations on the planes, before they supposedly crashed and all that stuff. And I was like, yo, how would they be able to get that type of stuff?
Right.
But with the George Floyd thing, man, there's people that are aware they're crisis actors, but the voices in the video, there's something that's not right about that.
Right.
I've always let it go, but they showed it so many times that it's kind of imprinted that, yeah, this had to happen because it was on X amount of cameras, but the way the people are responding, I'm not sure that's I'm not sure that's legit. There's a red flag right there in there for me, because a lot of this stuff sounds like real insincere.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the stuff doesn't even make sense, down to the woman saying, let me see a pulse, or, and maybe I'm picking, but there's something that was extremely off about that. And obviously, no dove, when we start having things align, like the 110, which is a huge clue, like what we're looking at. But yeah, I wanted to throw that out. And then one other thing, were you aware that there was a Portland Trailblazer player that died the same day as the Scottie Pippen thing? Son?
What Blazer died? No, I didn't know a Blazer died that day because Pippen played on the Blazers for a minute too.
I think he's like somebody who played on like one of the original teams.
Well, did his son die, or did he die April 18th or April 19th?
I believe it's the 19th.
Well, 19th was the day with the 44 numerology, which makes sense because Portland's 44 and so is Rip City, its nickname. That's the kill number. So, yeah. And yeah, Pippen played for the Blazers.
I can't think of the guy. I don't have it up right now, but yeah, if you are able to look it up, man.
Here, I'll do it right now.
It should pop up. But I was like, this is kind of odd, and it's real weird that I don't want to jinx it, but the Blazers can pick up that 33rd win today, and that allows the Scottie.
Oh, look at this, man! This is messed up. So the dude who died, he died at age 76, and he played for the 76ers and the Blazers, and that's what the finals was in the 76-77 season. Blazers over 76ers. That was the year they won their only championship. But yeah, Portland 44.
It showed the 19th, right?
Yeah, it was. Schaller Halliman. I don't remember who that is. I mean, that's before my time. He's from Tampa. I see that. Tampa won the Super Bowl this year, too. Man.
And I think is he a 25? Done that Tampa play into the 25?
Yeah.
I believe I saw a name, but his name came up 25, and now that you say that, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll have to look. Okay, well that's a good catch right there. Yeah, I see the ritual with that because that Portland and 76ers 76-77 season dead at 76. Pippen on the Blazers. Yeah. And sometimes I wonder if like all these dudes might even be related, man. I mean, like I think there's a lot of family ties in the NBA, and they don't even announce it. They tell us about some of the family relationships, so I don't think they tell us about all of them. So.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, that's all I had, man.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it.
Keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of deaths on that 44-64 day. I'm just depressed looking at the same thing month after month. Predictions landing month after month, and still nobody cares. It's like this is like the most amazing subject that really does reveal so much about the world you live in, including how people hate truth and knowledge and will just deny it. What's up, 512?
Hey, Zach. I wanted to bring it to your awareness. The Cyber Polygon on July 8th, 2020. It's 322 days till May 25th, 2021. Or 26th, 2021.
Wait.
And
Say it
also,
again. Say it again.
the Cyber Polygon exercise on July 8th, 2020, is a distance of 322 days from May 25th.
Oh, the day before that lunar eclipse, and that date can be written 25/5 as well. Okay.
No, the day of the day of the lunar eclipse.
Oh, I thought you said May
And-
25th.
Yeah, I said 25th. It was 26th.
The lunar eclipse is May 26th.
Yeah, 26th.
And Cyber Polygon was
Yeah.
322 days before May 26th?
Yes.
Oh,
and
wow.
here's the thing. There's another Cyber Polygon exercise this year in July, but it's going to be July 9th. And that's 322 days from it's 322 days from that date to May 26th of 2022.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting.
Indeed.
Yeah, I talked to Ben about it. And,
Yeah, it's a great observation, that's for sure.
all right, man. Well, keep up with the good work.
All right, thank you. You have a good night. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, man, it's just so messed up how this stuff goes. And 76 also has the racial connection because in reverse, all the words that equal 59 forwards are 76 in reverse. Slave, Negro, Blues, Rasta, they're all 76. The Million Man March on the day leaving 76. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, he's dead at 76. 860?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah, what's up?
I think you need to flip your screen.
Oh, I'm on the
in the
wrong
chat.
screen again. Man, I keep doing that. Okay.
All right, and I don't have my thoughts organized, so I'll just move on. But thanks for taking my call.
All right, thanks, man. Take care. Okay, I keep doing that. So this man died at 76 on the 44-64 date, and Portland and Rip City are 44. And hold on. Again, in case I had it on the wrong screen, the girl who's getting credit for filming the George Floyd killing now, even though it was a guy at the start of the thing, her name's Darnella Frazier, 255. The George Floyd killing was 25/5, May 25th. The ruling comes on the day leaving 255 days left in the year. Again, rituals, numbers. What's up, 815?
Hey, I'm Carrie. How are you doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. So I want to touch on the Wahlberg death of their mother.
Okay, sure.
I know you touched on that earlier tonight.
Right.
Their dad died on 2/12/08.
Okay.
And I noticed you did the numbers with the 122 from Donnie's birthday, and 212 is actually 12/2.
Wait, say that part again?
Written 12/2. His dad died on 12/12.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, February 12th, 2008, but would be written 12/2.
Right,
And
which is
the
that
mother
one.
died
I see.
122 days from Donnie's birthday.
Oh, yeah, the span.
Uh,
And Satanic is 122, and then the show, Neil the Hacker had it in his notes. The show Wahlburgers released on 122, January 22nd.
Yes, and then the dad died 12/12, which would be written 12/2, 122/08.
Right, it would have that in the same sequence, yeah.
Yep. Also, Sister Debbie passed away 9/2 of 2003 at the age of 43. Her name in Gematria equals 27. On the same day, Mark Wahlberg, his daughter, was born the same day his sister died. His daughter's name, Ella Ray, equals 27. And Alma, the mom, is 27 as well. So I thought that was interesting.
I wish we could get these people to talk about what it's like to live with this going on. I mean, even if they don't realize that these things are being done to them by a numerical code, like they signed their life away to be stars and they don't exactly understand how planned it is, I mean, they must, I don't know. It seems like they got to know that something is seriously wrong.
Yes. Yeah. And also, Mark also was the producer of McMillions, which was about the monopoly scam with McDonald's, which I thought was interesting with the shooting with McDonald's recently.
Okay.
And then his mother dying.
Right.
And then also with the 49, with Mark being age 49, and his mom, Alma Wahlberg, is 49.
And she died 49 weeks after her own birthday.
Yes. And they also own 49 Wahlburger restaurants.
Are you kidding me?
As well. No. They have 49 restaurants right now.
Wow.
So they have a huge sacrifice happening in their family.
Wow.
So.
Okay, great research. Yeah, I see it. There are 49 Wahlburgers locations.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a recent count as of January 2021. Unbelievable.
Yeah, crazy. So, but I want to thank you for everything you've done. I wish I could wake more people up. You know, I try sharing your videos and your book. Nobody wants to watch them. They don't even put the time in to even acknowledge any of this. So
I know, and then they call us names. It's like, okay, this is not the way it should work, but somehow it's working out this way in this world. These people are all programmed.
Yeah. So my husband, he listens, and my dad, I've got my dad in on it too. So, but everybody else, like my best friend and my mom, like they just think this is just crazy and coincidence, and you know. So, but I just want to thank you for everything you've done. I've got both your books, so.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you who take the time to listen and then apply the work and attempt to share it. It's received by some people, but those people are few and far between, that's for sure. So. Yes,
for sure. So,
yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much for taking my call.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Again, it's not us that are wrong, you guys. I mean, come on. All these 49s, I mean, these people live by numbers. Mark Wahlberg is 49. His mom's name in Gematria equals 49. She dies exactly 49 weeks after her birthday, and their restaurant chain has 49 locations at the moment. And again, my original theory in 2013 really hasn't changed that much, that like this is all in tribute to Revelation, the battle of good versus evil, which is referenced in Genesis 3:2:2. It's like, okay, I guess this is a Revelation narrative, and they're telling us they've chosen evil. What's up, 412?
Hey, man, I remember watching your show a couple weeks ago, and you were talking about flooding, right?
Right.
You were talking about 56.
52,
right?
52 date numerologies, and also 56 natural disaster fits in, but the flood date's usually 52.
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen when Paul Pierce ends up getting fired.
I think I covered it, but I forget. What was it?
From ESPN, he had numbers 106, 52, like you said, 164, and 56. Okay? And there was a fighter that died pretty close to then in a knockout. And the guy that covered it, his name came out and had similar numbers with Alberto Estudio with 188, 62, 271, 109. But that also lined up with brain hemorrhage, which that's what he came out with the story was, which was 62, 98, 172, and 46.
Okay.
And where that also lines up within there, they had the brain stem off, which is how he died from the hemorrhage, and that was 38. And the kid that died, he was 25 years old, and I thought maybe that lines up with all the Keyshawn Johnson and the basketball stuff he had going on.
Huh.
In the U.S.
Sure. Well, it is a big web of events, so yeah, those are some interesting observations. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, just wanted to see if that was even a Z code or not. But appreciate your time, man.
All right, man. Thank you. You have a good night.
All right.
All right. Take care.
You too, later.
Okay. His mom's birthday is May 6th, too. And Mark Wahlberg's birthday is June 5th, the two dates that can be written 5-6. That's interesting. Caller?
Yeah, I got a decode for Tupac. So are you familiar with the official narrative about how something went down at the casino and they got into a fight and then the shooting happened afterwards?
Orlando Anderson, something like that?
Yeah. So the official story after all these years came out that, Puffy is somehow connected to it. And then so there's an individual by the name of Eric Von Zip. He was a connection to what's his name, to Orlando Anderson and his uncle Keefy D. Supposedly that Puffy offered them $1 million to put a hit on Tupac. That's what they say. And so here's what the gematria fits in. Keefy D, he has the same gematria as P. Diddy. His real name is Dewan Davis. He got 100, same as P. Diddy. And what's it called? I got all these gematria numbers written on a piece of paper right now. I'm trying to put everything together. So, are you familiar with the detective who investigated it, Greg Kading?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, so he got the gematria of 56. I've heard you say that's the same thing as Society of Jesus. And he got the 187 too. And another thing, Orlando Anderson, his full, when you write out his full name, it comes up to 108. And when I looked at the dates from the day that he died to the anniversary of the date of Tupac's death, September 13th, that comes up to 108. From May 29, 1998 to September 13th that year is 108.
You remember what's special about 108?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so again, all these rituals are in time, and 108 is the number that connects time and gematria and geometry. So again, they say that the diameter of the Earth 108 times is how wide the sun is, and from the Earth to the sun is the diameter of the sun next. Like the 108 the sun 108 times across is how far it is from the sun to the earth. And then the diameter of the moon, that 108 times is how far it is from the moon to the earth. So 108 is what they teach in science, connects the distance between the sun, the earth, and the moon, and then the bodies and the size. And they say that's why the eclipses work out perfect. But if you write out geometry, because gematria means geometry in language, if you write out geometry, it equals 108 with the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, so it has perfect symmetry. And then, again, it's all about time, and the whole calendar is synced up with the sun and the moon and the astrology. So 108 connects to the relationship between the objects that we measure time with. And then gematria means geometry in language. And then the calendar comes from the Catholic Church, and so does the language. So you just see how they synced all this stuff together, because sacred geometry is another spiritual belief about God, that God's a mathematician, and God, created everything with geometric shapes, and that's why the same patterns are in all of nature, from us to plant leaves. So that's what 108 is. 108's like the number that's symbolizing like beginning, end, all things connected, time. So 108's a big number. If you write out Major League, it equals 108, and there's 108 double stitches on a baseball. And every Super Bowl, they sew 108 game balls. And if anybody doesn't know that, look it up. There's 108 game balls for every Super Bowl. So.
Wow, that's amazing. And check this out. So one of the officers who arrived at the scene, his name is Chris Carroll. I couldn't find anything. And I'm still new at this gematria thing, but I just wanted to put all these names in after looking at all these interviews and, just see how they fit in. Because I looked into your book, and I didn't see any of these names. So Chris Carroll was one of the first officers who arrived at the scene after the shooting. And, he said that he seen that Tupac and Suge both were shot up or whatever. And then... So he told the story that how he held Tupac in his arms, and he's like, trying to get get him to confess, like, do you know who did this to you? Are you aware? And he was like, Tupac was just slipping in and out of consciousness or whatever. And then he said, at his final breath, he got a little bit of consciousness. He said that they both looked into each other's eyes, and then he asked them one more time, "Do you know who did this to you?" And Tupac's last words, where he said he gathered his last breath, he looked at him, and he said, "F you," but he said the whole word. And when I wrote that, FUCKYOU, that comes out to 33 famous police, and that just shocked me right there.
Huh. Crazy. Yeah. Well, very interesting observations. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Appreciate your work, man.
All right. Yeah, you have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Yeah, in the headlines, a shooting of a 15-year-old black girl, or 16. Well, some things 15, some things 16, but Ma'Khia Bryant and 201 again. I mean, like I was saying in my book, the whole chapter on George Floyd, all the 201 racially charged shooting rituals, which all go back to the Jesuits and the Divide and Conquer gang. What's up, 718?
Hello?
Hello?
Zach, you hearing me well?
I hear you, yeah. What's going on?
This is amazing. I just called because I saw you were live, and just wanted to discuss some stuff that I saw shared with you in the community. I know you guys are great in numbers. This is OSH. I was the person who called in about Busta Rhymes' album and Volcanoes.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know if I'm off topic because I wasn't listening to the show. I just saw you were live and just called in. And you can stop me now. It's not out at the right time.
Go ahead. It's fine.
All right. So from basically, I was gonna observation with the volcano in Soufriere. It actually occurred on April 9th, the same day that the Earl died, as well as Earl Simmons.
Right.
And it was actually 33 weeks from August 21st, which is actually where I'm going now, which is to Nas's album, which is King's Disease. Caught me when I'm at a deli, so I'm doing two things at once. However, Nas's album dropped on August 21st, and from August 21st to April 9th was 33 weeks. That 33 is key because a couple of things that you can put into the calculator if you're looking. If you put two things, put Nasty Nas, and then put mutation, you'll see that it's almost a match. And this is why it's important. This is why I'm calling, because this is what I think is, I don't know, the next card in play.
I got it in there. So it's the exact same in 3 out of the 4, and the one cipher where it's not the same, they have the same numbers, just reversed.
It's a reflection. Thank you, my brother. So now we're on the same page. So check out Mass Appeal, which is his album.
Okay, and that makes
Mass
me think
Appeal
of
has
Gangstar
13.
with the Mass Appeal.
Yep, and then check out King's Disease. Has that 202, and I'm looking at the 202nd day of this year, and the numerology of that date. That date is actually June 12th. King's Disease, I found out from a friend tonight, is traditionally gout. So I'm looking to see if there's a connection with gout, because gout is 18. Yeah, the fact that you can look at mutation, Nasty Nas, King's Disease, Mass Appeal. I have some other stuff here. I'm not home, but your great decoders can take it from there and see what these guys are planning next for us.
Well, the King's Disease thing I got to point out is the 202 in it, because Skull and Bones is 202 in that cipher, and then he just became part of the Coinbase ritual that has Skull and Bones written all over it. And again, DMX, he was on that song with Rick Ross, and Rick Ross is rapping about Skull and Bones to start the song. And yeah, I'm going to look at this more. I know this is something right here, so I appreciate it.
But check out the 202nd day of the year, because I zoned in on that, and since you're pointing at it, the 202nd day of the year is June 12th. It has 20. Check out the other numbers that match up to this, as well as check out. There's a new strain of corona. So speaking of mutation, it's called the Brazilian strain. And if you put Brazilian in, you'll see that equals to our.
Well, You know what
There
I'm
you
thinking
go.
right away? I think Brazil is 94. Yeah, it is. And June 12th is George
it's
Herbert
150.
Walker Bush's birthday, and he died at 94 in a big ritual. And that goes with that Skull and Bones thing. Yeah, June.
Brazilian is also 151, like Great Reset.
Oh, okay.
So I
Okay.
heard, because I have family in different parts of the world, thank you, sir, that there's this new strain, the Brazilian strain that people are afraid of, and I feel that's the one, that's the mutation they're going to fuck our heads up and tell us, sorry, I don't, but the one that's really taking people off. I don't know.
Well, again, Event
yeah.
201, the simulation a month before the outbreak, the big focus was Brazil in that. And now Brazil's the worst hit country, supposedly. So.
And PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, the team in the Champions League that looks like they're going to win, home of the Jesuits, has a star who's from Brazil, Neymar.
Okay.
And the other star's from Monaco, which is also the home of a group of those families. But it's another story. Just wanted to share that with you in the community, and I'm about to jump into your show and see what else is going on, man. You keep up the good work, and you be safe out here.
All right, will do. Appreciate you, man. You have a good night.
You too. You take care.
Yeah, take care. Him saying he's getting food, though, reminds me that I'm hungry. I'm like, I need to eat something. I'll tell you what, man. Just keeping up with all this crap, it is a grind. Sometimes I'm like, I cannot believe how long I've been doing this for. All right, thank God. I was like, I hope Ben calls in. Right as I thought, I hope Ben calls in, your phone lit up. This is going to be the last call, everybody, and then I'm eating some food. But take as long as you need, Ben. What's up?
All right, so there's some other things. So did you hear about the Rogers blackout in Canada on Sunday?
I did not.
Yeah, no, there was so Rogers Communications had a blackout out of Toronto on Sunday, and it's really interesting because Sunday was the 108th day of the year, which is a special number to baseball, and a certain team normally plays in a stadium named after Rogers, and that team was 7-9 at the time, and it took place 191 days before the start of the World Series, like two Society of Jesus numbers.
Huh.
And yeah, and it was on the 212th day of their star player's age, and the full name of the team equals 212.
Right. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And another note, I had some notes about May 26th. So, the caller from Texas that called in, I've talked to him about this. The cyber polygon is 322 days before May 26th, like how 9/11 was 322 days after Pentagon Maskell, and the Houston blackout was 322 days after Schwab's birthday. But I did some further digging on the day with that in mind, and it turns out that day is Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac. That's her 73rd birthday. 73 is the 20th prime.
Uh-huh.
And she's from Phoenix, and Phoenix is interesting at this point because we have, the background on the what you're going to do when the grid goes down was Arizona. It's the solar capital of the world, and obviously J.J. Watt, in the time of Houston's blackout, went to Arizona. You got the Order of the Phoenix thing and the Economist cover where there's all this stuff going around about the dollar. So Arizona's interesting, and what else is interesting is she's from Phoenix specifically. Phoenix equals 46. Hold on, let me just make sure of this real quick. Yeah, Stevie Nicks alone equals 46, and she's from Phoenix. And here's where it gets interesting. So 322 days after Cyber Polygon is also 46 weeks. And, 46 was obviously a big number. It's a big number with Houston, Texas, because Houston, Texas is 46. And, we're in the time of number 46, Catholic Joe. And now the one song that they have that caught my attention was the song Landslide, which released on July 11th, 1975, 46 days after her birthday. 46 days after her birthday that year, and 2021 is 46 years after 1975. And also there's the 117 there, because July 11th can be written 117. So I'm just throwing out ideas, and and there's also the interesting thing about Arizona Diamondbacks having the 117 connection because they're from there.
Right.
But the reason landslide caught my attention because that could be a potential disaster that could lead to an array of other things. So what I noticed, and I feel like a candidate for that could be somewhere like San Francisco. So what I noticed is Stevie Nicks' full name, Stephanie Lynn Nicks, is 218, like how May 26th is 218 days after Kamala's birthday, Kamala Harris.
Right.
And, so Fleetwood Mac alone equals 202. And not only is that the name of the band she was in, that's also the name of the album that Landslide is on, because it was like a self-titled album. And she was married to Lindsey Buckingham, and Lindsey Buckingham has interesting numbers. He's got the 177 like the Jesuit order. He's got the 78 like Jesuit, and Cyber Polygon was on 7/8. And he's also got the 93, and there was the big Daft Punk ritual with this date in 93 and eclipses and.
Hey, by the way, I just want to add on to the thing about Daft Punk. For people who don't know what Ben's talking about, Daft Punk put out the retirement video February 22nd, 2021. It has symbolism of the sun and the moon blowing up, and I noticed that the lunar eclipse was exactly 93 days after the video, and Daft Punk equals 93, and they were established in 93, and that's the number that has to do with the distance of the sun. But what I missed when I covered that is June 10th is the date of a solar eclipse, and that's 108 days after the Daft Punk video. And again, the number that connects to the distance between the sun, earth, and moon, and which relates to eclipses. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. June 10th, that solar eclipse is 108 days later.
Yeah, and you got the...
or June 10th,
the gold and silver symbol. Yeah, and you got the gold and silver symbolism, alchemy, and, all that stuff's going on. So, but just to build off this, so... I mentioned Stephanie Lynn Nicks is 218 days after Kamala's birthday. And Fleetwood Mac equals 202, like Skull and Bones, whose number's 322. And so does San Francisco. San Francisco is also 322. 202. And yeah, I mean, there just seems to be something there. Not to mention it's the 58th day of Klaus Schwab's age, the big secret society number. And, in Phoenix and secret societies, it just seems like there could be something.
Well, remember what's on the cover of The Economist from 1988 about get ready for the one world currency is the Phoenix.
Right, 33 years
and then, the whole, just what's going on with cryptocurrencies and the gold, silver, moon, sun symbolism in that video. So that's why we're expecting something with currency. And, maybe some real big news with currency not too far off. So...
Yeah, for sure. But I just wanted to establish that connection because, you're looking out for May 26th, and there's this thing with landslide, and 73 is a big number this year because it's the 21st prime,
right?
And Arizona was involved in the last big 46, cyber polygon related ritual, so it just seems to make sense. You know what I mean? Especially. I talked to someone in this community from Arizona, and I always have thrown out there, really ever since this happened, I'm like, that Economist cover with the Phoenix and the what's you going to do when the grid goes down, but now with this May 26th thing, now I'm even more worried for that region of the country, but.
Well, in all likelihood, I mean, it's going to be... I know what you're saying, but I mean, in all likelihood, I mean, it's just like Houston just got something really bad, but for most people in Houston, it was survivable what they did, but the symbolism was there. So yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, man, if we don't all wake up, eventually it will get to the thing that we're all afraid might happen at any given day. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we might. But San Francisco, with the connection they have, always that's a city that's seen some disasters in the past. So I wouldn't be shocked if it were there either. So.
Well, what do you think about the verdict coming on Derek Chauvin's 33rd day of his age? Coincidence?
Nah, man. Oh man, the 110. I mean, the 110 is like, gosh. I mean, the 110 is so important. I mean, it's even important because I'll always know the significance of 110. I mean, I'm good with most of these numbers, but remember I found Amalgam Virgo on 110, so I can't. And 110 has the connection to 9/11 too, and obviously 9/11 was tied in with Floyd. So, the 110 thing is the more undeniable part to me because you've been talking about 110 and George Floyd really ever since it happened.
I put it on the cover of my book. I put it on the cover of the book, man.
Yeah. Right on the cover of the book, exactly. And I've read the book, and I've read all about 110, and I forgot about the slogan. But I mean, the 110th day of the year after all this crap, I mean that's the more undeniable part to me. But the 33, of course. I mean, when you're aware, I mean, I think one of the first videos I ever watched of you was talking about 33. And 33, that's when you and Russian Vids were, I don't want to say you were going at it. It was more like he was going after you. But, I would look at him and he would always talk about 33 and, your first video is about 33. By the way, your first 200 videos are re-uploaded on allfortruth.com YouTube channel, right?
No, I need to look that up. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's allfortruth spelled D-O-T, I think, com. Has your first 200 and something videos backed up, from all the whiteboard ones up to the first few that you did sharing the computer screen.
All for Truth, and they spell out .com.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's allfortruth.com. Oh, and I don't know if you've ever heard of yeah, that's what it is. Allfortruth.com, spelled D-O-T . I don't know. I mean, I haven't done too much research into this myself, but there's a woman named Peggy Hall who has her website, thehealthyamerican.org, and she actually has a manual on how to shop at Costco without a mask. Apparently, their CEO said something where you can get around it. And do you plan on going back there at all?
I'm gonna go back there because I was gonna go back there the day of that I got my letter saying that my membership was canceled, but I will go back because I have a return to make. So
yeah, well, apparently Peggy Hall talked about it. There's their CEO said something at some point that would allow people to get out of it, at least according to her. I don't know if the people you talk to will buy it, considering they just seem to be all about the mark of the beast and nothing more. But yeah, that's it.
All right, Ben. Well, I appreciate the great work.
No problem. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
All right, take care.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the patterns are too perfect day after day. There's an organic side to the code, but I mean, the way they do it in the news with just the same repetitive use of the numbers, I mean, there's no way. It's a coincidence every single time. No way. All right, we're going to leave it there, Truth Seeker. And, yeah, have a good rest of your evening. Or if you're in the other part of the world, have a good rest of your day. And tomorrow night, TFR. It's already Wednesday. That doesn't seem possible to me, but somehow it is. So we'll leave it there, you guys. Have a good rest of your night. And until next time.